Before you turn 70, let go of these 7 hidden clutters for a lighter, happier life. Happier life. Have you ever walked through your home and felt the weight of things you no longer use? Not just the physical weight, but the emotional heaviness of objects tied to the past. As we grow older, we often carry more than memories. We carry clutter that no longer reflects who we are today. We hold on to furniture we don't sit in. Closets overflow with clothes we'll never wear again. Drawers fill with expired pills, old receipts, broken gadgets, and souvenirs from decades ago. And somewhere along the way, our home sants a place of comfort start to feel crowded, overwhelming, even exhausting. But here's the truth. Letting go is not about loss, it's about liberation. It's about clearing the path so you can move freely, live peacefully, and breathe more deeply in your own space. Decluttering isn't just for the young or the trendy, it's a powerful personal act of self-care, especially as we approach our 70s. When you release what no longer serves you, you make space for what truly matters: ease, clarity, safety, and joy. A home that's light and simple gives you more energy for the people and passions that bring your life meaning. Think about it. Do you really want to spend your days navigating around furniture you never use, digging through drawers for documents you don't need, feeling guilty about objects that once meant something but now only take up space? This is your time. You've earned a home that reflects your present, not your past. You deserve rooms that feel calm, closets that make sense, and spaces that support your lifestyle and not complicate it. So today, we're not just talking about organizing, we're talking about reclaiming your life. This video is your starting point. We'll walk through 7 key areas where clutter tends to hide and help you gently, wisely, and confidently let go. Let this be the season you choose freedom over accumulation, peace over nostalgia, and simplicity over stress, because your best years deserve a space that supports them. If you believe it's time to lighten your life and make room for joy, hit the like button, and let's begin this journey together. 1. Worn out or unused furniture. Let's begin where clutter often hides in plain sight: furniture. Yes, those chairs, tables, and cabinets you've walked around for years without a second thought. The truth is, unused or worn-out furniture quietly drains your energy, crowding not just your rooms but your peace of mind. Meet Arthur, 71, who lives alone in a quiet suburb outside Portland. Over time, his living room filled with just-in-case piece extra armchairs, a coffee table that blocked the walkway, and an old recliner with a broken lever. He never used them. They just sat there, collecting dust. Then one day, Arthur's neighbor's teenage son, Max, offered to help clean the garage. When they walked into the living room, Max looked around and asked kindly, "Mr. Arthur, do you really need 5 chairs in here?" That simple question lit a spark. Arthur paused, looked around, and for the first time in years, really saw his space. He realized how difficult it had become to vacuum around the clutter, how often he bumped into that bulky table, how he'd stopped inviting guests because the room didn't feel welcoming anymore. So he made a bold decision to reclaim his space. He started small. Out went the recliner with the squeaky frame. Next, the extra chairs no one ever sat in. Then the oversized table that made the room feel smaller than it was. The more he let go, the more relief he felt. By the end of the week, his living room looked and felt entirely different. It was open, peaceful, and easy to move through. He even invited a friend over for tea, something he hadn't done in months. The difference wasn't just in his furniture, it was in him. Here's the powerful truth. Furniture should serve your life, not stand in your way. If a piece no longer adds comfort, function, or joy, it's time to let it go. Don't let objects from the past limit your freedom in the present. Walk through your home today. Ask yourself, when was the last time I used this? If you have to think too hard, you already know the answer. If you've ever felt the emotional weight of too much furniture, Comment 1 below. We'd love to hear how you're taking steps toward a freer, simpler home. 2. Clothes you never wear. Not all clutter sits in plain view. Some of it hides behind closet doors pressed, folded, and long forgotten. Clothing is one of the most deceptive forms of clutter. It hangs there quietly, whispering memories, holding on to a version of yourself that may no longer exist. Doris, 73, once had a wardrobe that turned heads. As a retired choir director, she owned elegant gowns, tailored suits, and high heels that once danced down church aisles. But now, she spent most days in her favorite soft cardigan and walking shoes comfortable, simple, present. One rainy Saturday, she tried to find a scarf, but the closet was packed to the brim. Dresses from the 90s, jackets she hadn't worn in 15 years, and stacks of just-in-case t-shirts. It felt like opening a door into someone else's life. That afternoon, something inside her shifted. Doris sat on her bed, surrounded by clothes, and whispered to herself, "It's time." She didn't rush. She started with 3 piles: what she loved and wore, what no longer fit or felt good, and what she was keeping out of guilt. That last pile was the hardest. The blazer she wore to her husband's retirement party, the shoes from her daughter's wedding. So many memories stitched into fabric. But as she let go, something beautiful happened. The guilt turned into gratitude. The past was honored, not forgotten. And in its place, Doris found something she hadn't felt in years: lightness. Each morning now, she opens her closet and sees only what she truly wears. No more digging, no more overwhelm. Just simple choices that reflect the woman she is today: wise, free, and full of grace. And here's a quiet truth. Too many choices cloud the mind. Cluttered closets create mental noise. In later life, simplicity is not just peaceful, it supports mental clarity, independence, and daily ease. If you've ever stood in front of your closet feeling stuck, or worried that you're holding on to too much of the past, comment 2 below. Let this be your moment to let go and live lighter for your body, your mind, and your memory. 3. Expired medications and old toiletries. Not all clutter is visible. Some of it hides behind bathroom cabinet doors, forgotten bottles, dusty boxes, and half-used tubes you meant to finish one day. But some of these items may not just be clutter, they could be putting your health at risk. Walter, 76, is a retired Navy veteran living in Virginia. He's always been proud of keeping things just in case, a habit learned from years at sea. But during a recent checkup, his doctor asked him to list all the medications he was taking. Walter froze. He wasn't sure anymore. That evening, he opened his medicine cabinet and was shocked. Expired ibuprofen from 2015. A pain prescription from a surgery he barely remembered. Cough syrups, eye drops, old antibiotic creams. It was all there, collecting dust and quietly adding danger. He spent 2 hours sorting everything. Some labels were faded. Some pills had changed color. He realized that what he thought was being prepared was actually creating confusion and potentially real harm. Walter gathered it all into a bag and drove to the local pharmacy for safe disposal. The pharmacist thanked him and said, "Most people wait too long. You just made your home safer." He didn't stop there. He checked his drawers for old lotions, expired sunscreen, even a bottle of cologne that hadn't been opened in a decade. He kept only what he actually used and could trust. Now, his cabinet is clear. Each label is readable. Each item has a purpose. And for the first time in years, Walter feels confident managing his medications again. Here's the deeper truth. As we age, managing our health becomes more complex. The last thing we need is confusion, risk, or clutter when our well-being depends on clarity. A clear medicine cabinet isn't just tidy, it's peace of mind. If you've ever worried about taking the wrong pill or forgetting what's safe, comment 3 below. Cleaning out your medications could be the most powerful step you take towards staying sharp, safe, and strong. Squat. Old papers, unused mail. The clutter that causes the most stress often looks the most harmless: just a few papers on the counter, a pile of unopened mail, or an old drawer stuffed with who knows what. But over time, these small piles grow into a wall of mental noise that makes everything feel harder. Marianne, age 70, is a retired librarian in Michigan. She's always loved order on bookshelves, not in file drawers. After her husband passed away, she started setting aside bills, letters, even old greeting cards, telling herself she'd go through them later. Years passed. One afternoon, she needed her Medicare card before a doctor's appointment, but she couldn't find it. The drawer she thought it was in had been buried under warranties from appliances she no longer owned, tax returns from 1,992, and faded bank receipts. She sat on the floor, surrounded by paperwork, feeling overwhelmed. "How did I let it get this far?" she whispered. That night, she couldn't sleep, not because of the missing document, but because of the realization she no longer felt in control. That weekend, she decided to take her power back. She set a timer just 30 minutes a day, one drawer at a time. She shredded old bills, recycled unopened junk mail, and scanned important files onto a USB drive. She made folders for medical records, insurance, and personal keepsakes. What began as a simple task turned into something deeper: a cleansing. By the end of the week, her desk was clear. But more importantly, so was her mind. Now, when the mail arrives, Marianne opens it the same day. When she needs a document, she finds it in seconds. She's no longer buried in the past, she's fully present in her life. Here's the truth. Paper clutter doesn't just steal space, it clouds memory, steals energy, and creates invisible stress. And at this stage in life, clarity is freedom. If you've ever felt buried in paperwork or feared forgetting something important, comment 4 below. Let's clear the clutter together, one envelope, one memory, one fresh breath at a time. 5. Kitchen items you never use. The heart of the home is often the kitchen, but even the heart can get cluttered. Not with love, but with unused gadgets, mystery containers, and that third spatula you didn't know you had. And over time, that clutter doesn't just take space, it takes away your joy in everyday life. Ralph, 74, once loved cooking. Sunday pancakes, stews in winter, coffee at sunrise. But lately, the kitchen stressed him out. He couldn't find what he needed, and when he opened a drawer, something always jammed or spilled. It wasn't until he dropped an old baking sheet on his futon he hadn't used since his daughter's wedding shower that he realized things had to change. "Why am I keeping things I don't even use?" he asked himself, rubbing his bruised toe. So he took a deep breath and pulled everything out, every drawer, every cabinet. He lined the counters with pots, pans, utensils, mugs, and appliances he hadn't touched in years. It looked like a yard sale in his own kitchen. Piece by piece, he made decisions. Duplicate measuring cups? Gone. The slow cooker he hadn't used since 2008? Donated. Cracked mugs, odd lids, expired spice teas, they all went. By the end, Ralph kept only what served him today. Now his kitchen is simple, open, and a joy to use again. He moves with ease. Cooking feels like it used to, satisfying, not stressful. Even washing dishes feels lighter when there aren't 20 things to put away. Here's the deeper truth. Cluttered kitchens slow us down, frustrate us, and even create fall risks. But a clean, calm kitchen supports independence, confidence, and well-being, especially as we age. You don't need 6 shelves of gadgets to make a good meal. You just need the tools that truly serve you. If your kitchen drawers are overflowing or your cabinets are bursting, comment 5 below. Let today be the day you reclaim your space so your kitchen can support the life you want, not the life you left behind. 6. Sentimental Clutter. Some clutter doesn't gather dust, it gathers emotion. These aren't broken appliances or expired cans. These are love letters, birthday cards, souvenirs from long ago trips, drawings from when your children were small. Objects that once made your heart swell now quietly sit in boxes, taking up space in your home and your soul. Evelyn, 77, has lived in her Connecticut home for over 40 years. The walls have seen weddings, losses, birthdays, quiet mornings with coffee, and long nights filled with memories. Every closet, every drawer seemed to hold a piece of her life's story. But after a mild stroke, Evelyn's doctor gently suggested she consider downsizing to move closer to her son. The idea sounded fine in theory, until she walked into her guest room, now a storage space filled with the weight of the past. She sat on the floor, surrounded by faded photo albums, her husband's army jacket, a box of holiday cards from the 1970s. Tears filled her eyes not from sadness, but fear. "If I let these go," she whispered, "will I forget who I am, who we were?" Her granddaughter Lily visited the next day. Instead of pushing, she listened. Then together they began slowly. They created keep and remember piles. The keep pile held just the truly meaningful her wedding album, a letter from her father, a music box that still played. The remember pile was digitized. Lily scanned letters, photographed souvenirs, and recorded Evelyn sharing the stories behind them. In doing so, Evelyn realized something powerful. The story was never in the object. It was in her heart, her voice, her memories. When they finished, Evelyn didn't feel empty, she felt lighter. Her home felt clearer, and so did her mind. She had honored her past without letting it hold her future hostage. Here's what we often forget. You don't need 100 items to hold on to one beautiful memory. The people you've loved and the moments you've lived don't disappear when you release the things. They stay with you, where they've always belonged. If you've ever felt torn between honoring your past and embracing your present, comment 6 below. Letting go isn't erasing, it's choosing what truly deserves space in your life now. 7. Unfinished projects and someday items. When was the last time you opened a drawer and saw a project waiting on you? A stack of fabric, a guitar you meant to learn, a recipe binder you planned to fill, a tool still in its package. How many dreams live in your garage? At first, they inspired youth and they started whispering, "You never finished." What once brought hope now brings pressure, and the longer these items stay, the louder the guilt becomes. You may not know Carol, but maybe you are Carol. She once imagined herself crafting jewelry to sell at local fairs. She bought beads, tools, even labeled little bags. But arthritis came. Her vision faded, the supplies stayed, untouched, tucked away in a corner of her home and her heart. Not trash, not treasure, just tension. She avoided that drawer for years. Until one day, helping her granddaughter pack for art school, Carol hesitated, then said, "Wait, I want to give you something." That box of beads, once heavy with guilt, became a gift of joy, creativity, and purpose for someone she loved. It didn't hurt, it healed. Here's a truth we rarely say aloud. Not every plan must be finished to have meaning. Some dreams come to teach us who we were, others we pass on. And in doing so, we lighten not just our homes but our hearts. What are you keeping that no longer fits your life today? What promise are you punishing yourself for not keeping? Maybe it's time to say, "I tried." Maybe that's enough, more than enough. If you've got a corner of your house or your heart filled with silent guilt from unfinished dreams, comment 7 below and share what you're ready to release. Someone else may need exactly what you're ready to let go. Because healing doesn't always come from finishing the story. Sometimes it comes from turning the page. Final reflections. Letting go to live freely. As we close this journey, take a breath. Not just a breath of air, but a breath of space, of clarity, of release. Because every item we've talked about, furniture, clothes, papers, even unfinished dreams, is not just clutter in your home. It's a story, a weight, a whisper from the past. But here's the powerful truth. You are not your belongings. You are not the dress you no longer wear, not the box of papers you haven't opened in years, not the project you never finished. You are so much more. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing to carry only what brings you peace, purpose, and presence. And when you choose that, you open doors to something beautiful, a life that's easier to manage, lighter to carry, and richer in meaning. What these stories have shown us is simple, yet profound. Freedom doesn't come from holding on. It comes from knowing when to release. Evelyn showed us that memories don't live in boxes. Sam reminded us that clarity begins in our digital lives. Marianne taught us that peace comes when we're no longer buried under paper. And Carol helped us understand that even unfinished dreams can find new purpose. The most powerful act you can take today might be the simplest, to look around your space and say, what can I let go of so I can live more fully today? Because your next chapter isn't written in things. It's written in the way you feel in your own home, strong, steady, and free. Now it's your turn. Which of the 7 items resonated with you the most? Was it the clothes, the kitchen, the sentimental boxes, or something else? Comment the number below and share your story. We read every word, and your experience might inspire someone else today. And if this video brought you clarity or courage, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so we can keep creating thoughtful content just for you. Your support isn't just appreciated, it's the reason we're here. Until next time, stay light, stay grounded, and remember, you're not decluttering a house, you're making room for life.